Los Angeles, California, which, by the way, is the 7th most profane city in the United States. According to an app called Preply, they polled people in various U.S. cities to find out how often they use curse words. L.A. was number 7 with an average curse count of 21 per day. Guillermo, you want to guess which city was number 1?
Chicago.
That is not correct. Not Chicago.
New York?
No, not New York. Columbus, Ohio was number 1. I know. Really? According to the survey, the average Columbus resident swears 36 times a day. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie over there. Here's the list. Columbus, number 1. Las Vegas, number 2, which makes sense because my Aunt Chippy lives there. It was a phone survey, so I'm guessing a lot of the cursing happened when the pollsters called during dinner to ask them, how often do you swear? New York wasn't even in the top 10. Wow. New York, in fact, New York was tied for 4th among cities that cursed the least. I don't know about that. We just spent a week in New York. I'm pretty sure I heard a pigeon call me a son of a bitch. New York was tied with El Paso and Chicago, and the city that curses the least is Phoenix, which, that's because the F word there starts with a PH. But, hey, here's some good news. Graham POTUS Jodas made a big announcement today. Biden fulfilled a campaign promise and pardoned all prior federal offenses for marijuana possession. Very big deal. It will affect more than 6,000 Americans. Their criminal records will be cleared. He also encouraged governors to do the same on the state level. He promised that his administration will review whether marijuana should still be classified as a Schedule I drug, and gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to a bag of Funyuns. So, progress. The move stops short of full decriminalization, which we'll probably have to wait until we have President Woodrow Harrelson or something, but it is the most cannabis-friendly decision by a U.S. president yet, and I, for one, am just glad Willie Nelson is alive to see this happen. You know, meanwhile, Donald Trump is still yelling about the FBI. We got a sneak peek at some of the documents they repossessed from Mar-a-Lago. A judge ordered that the detailed list of what the FBI confiscated remains sealed, but on Tuesday, some of them were accidentally released online in a public court docket. Now, accidentally released, you should know, is also how Trump told Eric and Don Jr. they were conceived. But in this case, how the documents got out is confusing, so I wanted to put it in terms we can all understand. So the court thought they were posting to their close friend's Instagram story, but they actually posted it on Maine. That's what happened. And as a result, we learned that the FBI took legal bills, financial documents, a medical letter, and a note that said, "Message from Rudy." Now, we don't know what the message from Rudy was, but let's guess. I guess the note said, "Need anything from the dildo store?" By the way, don't think I didn't notice all those T-shirts over there. Got a big crew from Dildo here tonight. Meanwhile, this is the kind of day Herschel Walker is having.
Any of the mothers of your children?
No.
To ask why? Why not?
Why'd I need to?
Well, because according to the article, the woman who says that you paid for her to have an abortion is also the mother of one of your children. It seems like that's an easy way to...
Because of the article, I had more kids. That's why I didn't reach out to anyone, because I said no, and that's what I mean. When I said no, I said it's not correct, that's a lie. And that's what I mean, that's a lie.
What? I might need to get a transcript of that to figure out what it... Herschel Walker, if you don't know, is the pro-life former football star running for Senate in Georgia. Earlier this week, the Daily Beast reported that he paid for an abortion in 2009. Herschel denied that and claimed he didn't know who this woman who said he paid for her abortion was. Turns out she and Herschel have a child together, which, in fairness to Herschel, he's got a lot of mothers with a lot of children, so he's supposed to remember all of them. At this point, Herschel Walker has misrepresented so much of his life, they should give him the Leisman Trophy, a little guy in a helmet with a long nose. But, so now, Republicans they're scrambling, trying to figure out how to handle this. Do they continue to back him for Senate, or do they ask him to drop out so he can run for president in 2 years? Now, down in Florida, they're dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. And you remember a few weeks ago, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, pulled that stunt. He shipped a bunch of migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Well, guess who's coming to help Florida recover from the hurricane? That's right, a group of immigrants. There's a large group of workers, many of them undocumented immigrants, who help with emergency cleanup, and a large number of them are headed to Florida to help out. Ron DeSantis bringing in immigrant workers to do hurricane cleanup is like Will Smith asking Chris Rock to play his birthday party. But that won't make a blip in the conservative media. What they're focused on this week is this.
Hey, Scooby, Velma is gay? Our thoughts exactly.
Well, Velma is now a lesbian, apparently. That's what they're pumping into your kids.
This is kind of really offensive.
Scooby-Doo has gone woke.
You know, when Trump was president, Velma was as straight as an American flagpole. Now Velma is gay, and it's going to be okay. We have nothing to fear. And I actually asked one of our writers, Louis Virtel, to explain why we have nothing to fear and Virtel it like it is. Louis?
So, as you heard in the new animated Scooby-Doo movie, Velma, the middle-aged teen detective who specialized in sending disgruntled carnival workers to prison, is officially a lesbian. It's rare to see a lesbian with a dog she isn't grooming, but Velma's sexuality isn't as rare as you'd think. In fact, lots of classic cartoon characters are gay, they just weren't allowed to talk about it. Exhibit A, Peppermint Patty. Now, this one was obvious from the get-go, right? Rugged, Birkenstocks, hostile about baseball. And with a nickname that sounds like a Christmas-themed drag queen. Next up, Snagglepuss. I know, I couldn't believe the effeminate cat dressed like a Chippendale moaning "Heavens to Murgatroyd" was gay either. And what about Ned? Ned Flanders is what Grindr in the suburbs looks like. Also gay, He-Man. Now, He-Man was transgressive because he's a gay bodybuilder, but he's keeping his Christina Ricci haircut no matter what. There are so many. Let's run through all the ripped gay cartoons. Aquaman, the Human Torch, Raphael the Ninja Turtle, Captain Planet. If there's one thing about gay men, it's that they cannot shut up about the environmental nonprofit they work for. I can see how the mullet would confuse you, though. Rosie, the maid from the Jetsons, is queer. In the future, all robots are, by law. Because they were all made in the image of the first gay robot, Tim Gunn. Who else? The Tootsie Pop Owl. Dora the Explorer, of course. Butch girl who's much too excited about her anthropology degree. I've seen it 1,000 times. Curious George, bye. Frankenberry, pervert. And finally, the captain, Captain Hook. This man has been at sea chasing Peter Pan for 70 years because it's the only place anyone wears bloomers anymore. The point is, everyone needs to calm down. Scooby-Doo isn't turning your kids gay. Paw Patrol is. I mean, take a look. A cop, a construction worker, bikers. It's the Village People for preschoolers. But anyway, congrats to Velma. May she one day fall in love with Valerie from Josie and the Pussycat. Living happily ever after selling organic, cruelty-free Scooby snacks in the greater Portland area. And if there's anything the gang at Fox News should be concerned about, it should be whatever the hell is going on between these two.
Thank you, Louis. Louis Virtel, everyone. And Oh, one more thing. We took our show on the road to Brooklyn last week, and while we were there, Jimmy Fallon and I did a commercial for a local sandwich shop down in Sheepshead Bay. It's called Jimmy's Famous Heroes, and we wanted to give a fellow Jimmy a boost. So we showed up with a script for the commercial, and what we didn't anticipate was how difficult it would be to get the gang at Jimmy's to read that script aloud.
Heroes and action.
Jimmy's Heroes.
Forgot famous.
Forgot famous.
Jimmy here makes hot heroes, cold heroes. Sorry, Jimmy, you're fired. Isn't it great to be among so many Jimmys?
I didn't know you were two different people. I didn't know you were two.
Wait, I'll lead you into it, though.
Okay, now this is what I call a Jimmy's sandwich.
You invented a new word. You invented a new word.
That's Swedish.
That's why you went with heroes, because you just don't know how to pronounce sandwich.
Now this is what I call a Jimmy's hero. Jimmy's sandwich.
Like when you make a sandwich, do you that up too? Isn't it great to be among so many Jimmys?
Okay, now this is what I call a Jimmy sandwich.
Is that the funny part? My brain is like, she just went right to the end, yeah.
Now I know why you never made a commercial before.
I didn't know why you two did it, people.
We're gonna have you stand over.
Okay, I'll sit over here.
Hot ham with provolone, tomato, lettuce, mayonnaise on a roll.
You got a problem with that?
No.
Oh, I want you to say you got a problem with that?
Oh.
I hope they serve Jimmy's at my funeral one day.
Prosciutto.
Sorry, supasata.
Oh, I did it
wrong. I'm sorry. Damn.
We'll do it again.
And if your name is Jimmy, you eat free.
That's not true, please. Not true either. Please, tell them that's not true.
So you see the first line, that's not true either, and then please tell them that's not true. Yeah.
All right,
That's
there
one.
we go again, that's one.
And if your name is Jimmy, you eat free.
That's not true either. Please tell me that's not true. That's not true either. Please tell them that's not true.
It's getting worse. One more time.
Please, tell them that's
And
not...
don't smile, you're mad. Don't smile.
Tell them that's not true. You're gonna ruin my business. You're gonna ruin my business.
And if your name is Jimmy, the food is free.
That's not true either. Please tell them that's not true. Please, you can't afford that.
No, you can't afford it. You can afford it. You can't afford it.
Please, they can't afford it.
Oh, they can afford it. We
Don't
can't
have them
afford
improvise.
it. I'll do it.
What am I supposed to say? You can't afford to give out free sandwiches.
We can't afford it. You, Jersey Max. Jimmy Max.
You've got a problem with that. See Jimmy.
All right, thanks. Everybody at Jimmy's and Jimmy Fallon. And by the way, Columbus, Ohio, I demand a recount.